we haven't seen this climate of music without Drake in it. And I think that Drake putting music into this climate hurts his brand because it's like, oh, you're still putting out music, but it's not hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can't say it's not hitting if it's not even out. And I think that would be a time when, say, 6 months down the road and we see the latest YG single or the latest Cardi single and we go, these aren't hitting. Maybe I want some Drake. Leave the avenue for that to be the case.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Album Mode. This is Soundbites, part of the Album Mode podcast where we're talking about the music, the culture, the internet, and the legal battles of the music culture that we are part of today. My name is Demar Grant, aka King Grant, aka The Bunny, and I'm here with my esteemed co-host, co-creator, Adriel Smiley, aka AdrielSmiley.com, aka Adriel Smiley, the Godfather. Adriel, we are back, and so is Drake.
Your boy.
Not my boy. Absolutely not. Never. Drake is back with Snow Day dropping the song called Gwan Delilah. I would say Wagwan. Why are we even saying Wagwan to Delilah? Like, I need to understand why this song exists.
I don't really have an answer for you. I think that Drake just doesn't know how to be out of the spotlight. I feel like this song already had its time on social media. Like, I feel like this is like bringing this song back. Like, this song, wasn't even popping currently. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, I just made a face.
Yeah,
because I don't understand why Drake did this. I think this is kind of part of his like power in a sense, but I think he isn't understanding that things have changed.
Yeah, I think that I was thinking about my own question because honestly, I think that it's a question that is plaguing us all. Why did Drake become part of the song? Because it's not actually technically his song; it's Snow Day's song. I think he did it on purpose to cut the tension between the Drake and Kendrick. I almost said Kanye. Drake and Kendrick beef. I would say Drake firmly lost. Firmly
lost is so crazy. You're gonna say he lost? Firmly lost is so crazy.
It was pretty firm. It was a pretty firm loss, and you can get to a situation where in a beef, if you lose a beef like badly enough, it can actually impact your career. So I think that Drake, I didn't think it was over, but I definitely thought like you chipped the block. Kendrick Lamar, was chipping parts off of Drake's armor, and I think that this song, it's kind of weird because like can Drake release like a super serious song right now? I'm not really sure about that. So I think that he's like, okay, everybody's looking for this or that, or can't even drop music anymore. Let me just hop and do a quick joke, one joke just to cut the tension and everything that is happening, where it can kind of like reset.
I honestly thought he already did that with the BBL Drizzy thing. I thought that was your tension cut attempt. Leave the tension alone. Because to me, this is almost him trying to say he's not accepting defeat. Like, see, I'm not gone. And I think that's what he's having the most trouble with personally. That's what I think. Because I feel like this and the BBL Drizzy, we didn't need. Both of these could have been kept in the hard drive. Like, I know you love Sexy Red, Drake. You could have had something else for Sexy Red. This song was viral months ago. So to me, it's kind of like he has to do something so he's still around, because I think Drake, the break he wanted to take for All the Dogs.
Yeah. Threw it out the window.
Throw it out the window now. But I think the break that he would take now has a different tone to it.
Yes.
And I think he's having trouble sitting with that. I think him taking a break is something we kind of all want him to do, whether you think he lost or won. I don't know who think he won, but you want him to take a break right now. But I think him taking a break right now comes with the comments of, Kendrick got you out of here.
Yeah.
And I think he can't really sit with that, because I feel like, take your break, Drake. This is a time. Like, you're not a one-dimensional artist. You have plenty of lanes to go into. But I think he has to kind of still be the center of attention, even if only for a night.
Yeah, I think that no matter what, he can't admit that like Drake or Kendrick ended him. Like no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
I think Drake just like whether or not it's a persona thing, a machismo thing, or even just like a career lifespan thing, going on a break now, even though that we all or most of us agree that Drake should like stop releasing as much music as he releases,
Yes.
it would just have this like almost like a death knell type of impact. It was be like, see, it's ending soon. Like he's in hiding, like he doesn't know what to do.
Yep.
Kendrick got him, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of has to drop something. But then I've been thinking, I'm like, can't really drop a super serious song right now.
But when
If
is
you can't go
when
ahead.
does Drake drop serious song? Are you saying like more like when he's like being like gangster Drake as a
Like
serious song?
could Drake release a Mob Types right now? I don't think so.
I think you have something there. I think that's like that part of him is what we're kind of wait to see and
Yeah.
hear. But I also think that this is not the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like go away.
Yeah.
Let your. 'Cause I think what he's doing right now is hurting his comeback. I think that his comeback, this is Drake. He can craft like we've seen him craft the best songs solo,
Mm-hmm.
not need a feature, just him. How he gets down, he's capable of that. So he can come back, whatever it is, 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now, with a comeback that is like, this is a great song. We've
Yeah.
seen him do that multiple times before in multiple genres.
I think he's trying to avoid getting Chance the Rapper. I think.
I that's what it feels like, but
I think he's
I
trying
don't
to
think he
avoid
has to worry about that. I really don't think he has to worry about that. I think that as much as his his image has taken a hit,
Mm-hmm.
his edge is not gone all the way. He didn't, he went down fighting.
Yeah.
Whether he maybe should have stopped fighting at a certain point. I mentioned this to Chris before, and every battle he's been in, he's produced lyrics, songs, records that are adequate. There hasn't been a time where it's been like, don't put that out. Let's,
Mm-hmm.
The Heart Part 6 was probably the first time we were like, keep that record. And so to battle all these times over your career and you always have a record, always have lines. Think about when he was getting a comment on Stay Scheming, which was the hottest song in the street. And he's getting that comment on a song like that.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that he's just having a tough time.
I think what he should start doing is just drop some Lucy's. Just do some Lucy tracks. I think that would be good.
I think he really should just go away. I
No, bro.
personally
I think that's a mistake. See, look at what happened to Chance.
he's not Chance.
But remember
Mhm.
when Chance was Chance the Rapper,
Yeah.
we were like, this is the next dude. Then he dropped one album that sucked, and it's over.
But
So it's possible.
well, he's not Chance. So it's like 15 years of dominance.
Mhm.
Chance was like bubbling at that time. And I think what happened was the success was premature. I talked about Ice Spice, where Ice Spice is so famous now, she can't do what she would normally do in terms of like 1,000 cap rooms or
Mhm.
500 cap rooms. That looks like a failure from where she's at right now.
Mhm.
Chance, that's Chance. Before Chance had this tour that didn't sell, which is why he went away. Before he was going to go on that tour that didn't sell, that was an arena tour.
Mhm.
Before that, he was opening for Childish Gambino. Going from opening for Childish Gambino to an arena tour is obviously a huge jump. And there's a middle ground there of, okay, I'm doing, an Echo Beach type of venue.
Right.
And I think that Drake is not in that middle ground of like even Drake like not selling out is still gonna do the biggest venues, have the biggest records. So to me, I think he needs to take some time off, almost like Kendrick did during the pandemic, because I think that we haven't seen this climate of music without Drake in it. And I think that Drake putting music into this climate hurts his brand because it's like, oh, you're still putting out music, but it's not hitting it.
Mhm.
I think you can't say it's not hitting if it's not even out. And I think that would be a time when, say, 6 months down the road and we see the latest YG single or the latest Cardi single, and we go, these aren't hitting. Maybe I want some Drake. Leave the avenue for that to be the case.
Mhm.
I think with this, it's like, Drake, we've been hearing you every month and we don't even want it. And that's, I think, more hurtful than no music out. And people are saying, I miss a Drake feature. I miss a Drake song in the summer.
Yeah.
I think that's what he needs, because right now we're not missing Drake. And so he needs to let us miss him.
Yeah, I think that would I see where you're coming from, even though I don't know if I fully agree with it. But yeah, so that's Drake. How do you feel about the song? Like actually as a song?
I like the song.
Yeah, you like it?
I like it. I said this in a Toronto Star piece that just went up, is like, I'm gonna be bumping this.
Wow.
Like these are lines where it's like, I'm gonna be singing these to my friends like as a joke for the next couple of weeks. Like this to me is actually a good move by Drake, but it's wrong timing. I think about a song like Sweeter Mans, which was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Drake is showing his comedy like on this song, which how many rappers of his level are like having a whole comedic verse? That's not really something that happens. And like going deep into the accent. I think that this is funny because Kendrick, imitated the accent on Euphoria, said you can't sell me no accent, something that he's been like, people are making fun of Toronto for. This song is like full-blown accent. And I think most other rappers from other regions would take offense to this accent being like made fun of, diving into it. And this shows, he's able to take a joke. I think this time he's not taking the joke as well as he has in the past. But this to me is actually a good move, but just the complete wrong time.
Yeah, I thought the song was funny, and I did think that there is a ton of Toronto-isms embedded in it. And I think that even the ending where he's like, the RBCs, whatever, like all the financial district,
every bank you can name.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. And I think that Drake's part is funny. Like, I just think it's just funny in general. I do think that, everything exists within context of everything else, that it kind of came off kind of almost like a little bit cringy, or people are like, this is the worst song ever, but they don't understand that it's a joke. Obviously people from Toronto and shit like that understand that it's a joke and understand the video that it's coming from. Maybe some people don't even know the video.
Facts.
Right? So there's that element to it. So I think that it was funny. I think that it's helping cut the tension, but I also need less Drake in my life just in general. Just like, drop too much music, bro. I've been saying that for years now.
Yes, you have.
For years, I've been saying he drops too much music. So
trending in Canada, Gwan Delilah.
Exactly. So like, it's funny. People get it. People who were supposed to get it. People who don't. And that's kind of how it is. The next thing that we have on the docket, like I said in the intro, where we're talking about the music, the culture, the internet, and the legal issues, I think that it's just like genuinely just like part of shit that's going on now. Like music, the hip hop space, music space overall, it's just a ton of legal issues. The Dream has been accused of, and I want to make sure I have this straight up on deck, so I'm not flubbing anything. I'm not giving anything like shorting anything or giving something credence that it doesn't. The Dream is facing rape, battery, and sex trafficking allegations in a lawsuit. Okay. I believe it's Channy. Is it Channy or Cheney?
Channy.
Channy is charging him, right? Filing this suit where she basically alleges that all of those things, right? The sex trafficking and new lawsuit, she's speaking out. She says this, and I believe in a statement, she's like, she's speaking out to prevent future horrific abuse by the 8-time Grammy award-winning artist / producer. So yeah, that's what's happening. There's details on, that he had flown her out to him and then allegedly was coercing her into sexual acts and holding a gun to her head, all this shit, like holding her down, not wearing a condom when they're allegedly having sex. So like all these things that are allegedly happening, the Dream has been charged with. This is it. I told you, I want to say a couple of months ago, I'm like, I think we're going through a Me Too moment in hip hop. And this is just another, every week, literally every week, except for last week, we've had something like this to talk about.
We 100% are. And I have a couple of things to mention. I think the fact that the people that are getting brought up are not the ones that we know about already is interesting. We've mentioned a bunch of dudes on this podcast who we think should be at the top of this list.
Tyga, where are you, Tyga?
Tyga being one of them, Trey Songz being another. I think that fact that those guys are not being a part of this, I think there's like a exposing factor to this, because the Dream is someone who, he did have a case in 2015, with allegations against their former partner, which were dropped, but that was not very public, and I think other than that, this would not be something people were accusing him of. The other thing is that apparently Mangro, the woman who's suing the Dream, has been a part of another lawsuit. Cassie's against Diddy. So that I think is something to mention.
Yeah, something to monitor, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that was the one that was settled
Yeah.
out of court. So maybe we'll hear more about that.
No, but I'm like, what if if she's part of a previous suit? Sorry.
Bless you.
If she's part of a previous suit, being included in 2 lawsuits like this, and they're also all involve sex trafficking.
A third suit. This is a third suit she's involved in. She's involved with another suit with another Diddy accuser.
Exactly.
And so my 2 things I want to bring up is, well, one, I want to say he claims that these are all untrue and defamatory.
Yeah.
We're gonna believe the victim and assume that these are true.
Mm-hmm.
But why I brought up her other suits with Diddy is because the Dream is tied very closely to Beyonce.
Yeah.
And we talked before about Jay-Z and Beyonce possibly being the next 2 on this list of people who are going to be exposed. Now, for those of you, and clearly Beyonce fans are unaware, because when I saw the Beyonce movie in theaters, when the Dream came on the screen, me and Bridget said, "Oh, the Dream." No one else knew who that was. So these are all Beyonce fans who've been Beyonce fans for 3 years, apparently. But
the Dream is also like big time producer.
But big time producer with Beyonce.
I agree.
I feel like they should know who he is, but beside the point.
Yeah.
He's credited on 10 songs on the last project. And this is obviously an old case, but I think the question of how much does everybody know is part of this here.
Yeah, this is from 2015.
Yeah. And so I think like he's been working with a lot of people since then, but I think this woman being part of several cases is a question of like, how much does everybody know? And why I bring up Beyonce and Jay-Z is because they're both frequent Dream collaborators. And so maybe there's a case that they may not have known about this. This is news to them like it's news to us. But I think what's more likely is that a huge part of the industry is well aware of all this stuff going on. And I think the thing that someone mentioned to me maybe 4 or 5 months ago on our first Diddy pod, and they were said, "Oh, like, are you sure they're not trying to take him down as like the face of all this?" And I said, "No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But I do think that there are other people who are involved and not having the reputation that Diddy had. And this is kind of a sign of that to me."
Yeah. This is just another person on the list. Basically, I feel like I do think we're going to continue to get more cases like this.
Yep.
I don't think I'm the only person that I feel as though I'm the only person saying it or recognizing it as such. I'm like, we're watching the hip hop Me Too right now. I don't think people are saying that. I don't think people are. Maybe they have, and I'm not seeing it.
I think people are not saying that because Diddy was the first one. I think we talked about last week or maybe 2 weeks ago of all the media members defending Diddy and afraid to talk about him. I think that's why you're not hearing people talk about it, because I think it's obvious. I think we're already there.
We're in it. We're in it.
We're already there.
Yeah, we're in it right now. We're seeing Diddy. We're seeing even the idea of the Drake to an extent.
The Dream,
the Dream, academics,
Kendrick,
right? Kendrick. There's like it's not just like 1 or 2 people. It's literally just looking down a list, and there's still again you mentioned this. There's still people that were like, that dude very obviously could get tagged in this. That dude over there very obviously, and it's like it's not even like a secret. We're just like Tyga and the Tyga and Kylie Jenner situation.
Let's go back, because we didn't talk about this on Sound Bites, because I didn't think it was worth Sound Bites, but maybe 2 weeks ago now, Tyga and Travis Scott got into altercation over the Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
And the report was that Travis Scott said to Tyga, "At least I waited till she was 18.
Yeah.
And the thing about that's where we're at is honestly a crazy, crazy place. But my main thing with this is like, what is going to be the burden of proof? Because I think that, and why I bring up, everyone we're talking about, but including Drake and Kendrick in this in their own group, is None have been charged. None have been convicted. This is actual legal action against the dream, but people have said legal action doesn't always mean that this is true or that this is set in stone. And I think that, let's go back to 2 weeks ago when we talked about academics, who we haven't heard anything about that since, is that I think a lot of these people are going to get maybe legal action in terms of a lawsuit, but that might be where it ends for a lot of these people. So as a public, I want to know in the comments, let me know, how are you deciding that someone is guilty? And how are you deciding that person is canceled? Because I think about someone like Drake, who there's a group of people who are being like, yep, he's canceled, he's whatever, off of the rumors, whatever you feel like, which is fair if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Same goes for a lot of these people. So how are we deciding who's who? Because I don't know if any people are going to go to jail. And is that how we're going to decide, like, okay, if you got a report about you, then you're just canceled? Because I think that's coming for a lot of people. And I think that, like, are we having that burden of proof of, like, okay, once they're arrested, I'll believe it? Because that's kind of what I'm asking. Because
yeah, that's a good question. I think that there's most of the people that are caught in this situation are billionaires or millionaires, right? They got M or Bs, right? And it's really hard to convict a person where they're like, I'm going to fight this to the death with billions of dollars. I'm going to pull every trick. I'm going to do every delay, right? I'm going to string it out from this court to this court. It's actually supposed to be in this state, like all that shit. They're going to pull that, right? So there's going to be that element of, like, even trying to get it to go to court is going to be a difficulty.
Yeah.
And then a conviction, it could take forever. It could take years, right? Like, going from these accusations to an actual jury deliberation and then reading of whether or not guilty or not guilty could take years, bro. So you're the deciding on whether or not you believe or what is going to be up to the person, I guess. Like, I can't, I think that situations like these are very rarely not true. Extraordinarily rarely not true. So for me personally, this is just like, okay, well, if something like this is pending, then I'm like,
I'm riding with it.
Yeah, it seems pretty. I'm just gonna be like, this is pretty serious to me.
Yeah,
it seems very serious to me. Again, I know many people in my life. I have not encountered a case like this with any of them. I know hundreds, thousands of people. This type of court case not coming up for them.
And I think the thing to me that stands out is these court cases are so detailed often. The person is being explicit about what they've been through.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that people are, like, again, people are just reading the headline, glossing over it, but these people are being explicit about what they went through.
Yeah, where it was, even like
who else was there?
Yeah, who else was there? Like, even in this, she's like, yeah, there was like other people in the same theater as them that saw it happen.
And I think the thing that I want to bring up one more time, because I want to make sure everyone really gets this. Talked about this when the Diddy stuff first came about. And I said, is he going to get the R. Kelly treatment or the Michael Jackson treatment? Let's modernize that. Are they going to get the Drake treatment or the Kendrick Lamar treatment? Because I think that what I've learned over this past year or so is this is not one size fits all. Chris Brown may never do the Super Bowl, and Dr. Dre just did it last year.
Facts.
And I think that what we're learning is people kind of have this.
They have their favorites.
Goalpost moving for whoever you like. And I think that we're all guilty of it in a sense. But I think this is like this Me Too movement we're going through in hip hop is going to really show that. Kendrick was the clear sign. He said, I don't care who he hit. He could hit me. Yeah. I like Kendrick Lamar. And that was the energy. And to this day, that's the energy. Drake is like, take him or leave him. Pedophile, get him out of here.
Yeah.
And I think the dream is going to probably fall more into the Drake crowd. I don't know if he has like Kendrick Lamar type of love. But I think this is the wrong message to send as a community. That it's like, okay, Dr. Dre and Kendrick, you're above it. Drake and Chris Brown, you're not.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where we're at. We're academics. I saw Academics clip that just came out today. I said, he's still going, nothing.
Yeah, nobody, no repercussions.
So I think that's where we're at, where I want everyone to kind of check themselves in that sense of being like, am I showing favoritism off of just who I like, which we all are, for sure. But I think that as these things come out and the like these are all getting very real in terms of these allegations.
Yeah.
So I think that's the part we have to really look at is like, do we have to start having a blanket of like, hey, all of you are canceled. I love Explosive with my whole heart, but maybe not. Because I think about someone like Eminem, who's back outside again, putting out music.
Why?
Having Are we gonna review his album? Remains to be seen.
I don't think
Remains
so.
to be seen. But him having whole songs about, raping his mother and killing his wife. And that was not a problem for many people. And so I think that canceling, of course, has always been fake. I've been saying that for a very long time. We're living it. But I do think that there has to be some kind of moral standard we have.
Yeah.
So,
somebody needs to get the scarlet letter, bro. Like, something.
Because I think it's...
Because you know what? Situations like this, if nothing does happen, it only reinforces their behavior. Because they're just like, I'm going to get away with it. It might cost me, 50 million, 10 million, whatever.
But I'm free.
But I'm chilling.
And
I could still work in the field and this not impacting my work. People still listening to my music, still collaborating with people at the pinnacle of the craft, right? So this is for them, right? If nothing happens and there's no social repercussions or legal repercussions, for them, it's just like, I got to pay taxes. This is my tax.
That's it. And I think we're sending the wrong message is my point. I think we're sending, because I feel so shitty when I'm having to like defend the abuser I feel bad for, because it is actually unfair that this abuser can't have a career and this abuser has an award named after him. Like, where am I at where I'm really having to defend someone?
Yeah.
Because that's really what's going on. It's like, so-and-so can't go outside and Trey Songz is live at Rebel.
Facts. That's a big fact, bro.
And it's like, to me, like, I don't think it's fair for any of them to kind of have that career still. I think there should be some repercussions, but I think it is extremely unfair when this person, that's like their brand now, and this other person, that's not. We think of it all. So to me, I feel like let's have some fairness. Try at least have some fairness.
Yeah. So that's it for today's episode. Unfortunately, we're tracking the well, I would say fortunately, but unfortunately at the same time, because I would prefer to see these things come to light, unfortunately, because these things actually fucking happen. So we're tracking it. We're monitoring pretty much all of the shit that's happening. And thank everybody for listening to and watching Soundbites, part of the Album Mode podcast. We're talking about the music, culture, the internet, the legal battles of the music culture that we are part of today. I want to thank everybody for listening. Make sure you like and comment on this video, and make sure you're liking and commenting on any sort of audio platform that you're listening to this podcast on. Make sure you follow us on the interwebs at Album Mode Pod, on Twitter at Album Mode Pod, on Instagram at Album Mode Pod, on TikTok at Album Mode, on YouTube. See how I do?
There you go.
So I want to thank everybody for listening. Adriel, make sure you know yourself and know your worth.
Later days.